Hi, it's Robin Barraclough here, and today we're going to talk about taking the fear out of fever. I know that for many parents this is a big issue, that there's so much talk in the media about fever and getting the fever down so that you really feel like in order to be a good mum you need to follow all these instructions. But there's so much fear around this, so that when your child has a fever in the middle of the night, what do you do when it's the middle of the night and the doctor is closed? Because seeing a child with a fever can be scary for many parents. There's so much hype about get the fever down so it doesn't harm them. But what is the real cost of suppressing a fever? What most people don't realize is that when you give Panadol or some other form of paracetamol, you're actually suppressing a fever, which actually is not giving your child's immune system a chance to really build up immunity towards some of these bugs. So many parents get very worried once their child's temperature gets over 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And even more concerned and worried if it becomes a high fever. But most parents don't know that there are ways to treat a fever that will build your child's immune system, improve their health, and don't involve paracetamol or other drugs. So, I'm Robin Barraclough, and this is Molly Knight, and together we put together a program about fever and how you can treat fever with your children naturally. Molly Knight and Robin Barraclough, we're both herbalists, and we're natural health educators who are committed to helping parents be more empowered in the health of their families. We know what it's like to be up in the middle of the night with small children with fever. I'm Robin Barraclough, and I have 5 children of my own. And I've been using natural methods to treat fevers for all of them, from when they were babies through to now. I've also been teaching clients how to treat fever naturally with tissue salts, with herbs, and other natural remedies for as long as I've been in practice, which is close to 20 years now. Molly was a nurse before becoming a herbalist and has treated her clients, children and grandchildren with natural remedies for over 30 years. So not only that, she's created her own form of gluten-free cookery, and both of us have actually taught herbal medicine or taught at conferences and as part of other practitioner training programs. Together, what we've done today for you is taken our best fever treatments and created a fever treatment program to take the fear out of fever for you. This information has been used successfully by thousands of families as the first steps to treatment. By following these simple protocols, you'll feel confident about when you can help your child, when you need to go to the doctor, and you'll also have the reassurance that you've done everything you can to support your child when they're not well. In this training, you'll learn why suppressing a fever with paracetamol can be harmful to your child's immune system. This is a really important reason why we teach people about natural fever treatments, because we want to be able to build up your child's immune system so that they've not just got health for now, but health for the rest of their life. We'll talk about why doctors recommend you should never use aspirin to bring down a fever with children. And once again, look at what are the natural alternatives that you do have to help with a fever. We'll also talk about recent changes to fever treatment protocols and why doctors are starting to recommend not giving Panadol or other medications to bring down a fever, and why. This is really key important information, because if you go to the doctor and they just say, you just have to wait it out, there's a feeling of helplessness that comes around that. And so what we're really interested in doing is giving you tools, giving you tips, giving you what you can do so that you can feel empowered in that situation and not have to suffer that helplessness of just watching your child go through the fever and not being able to do anything about it. We'll talk about why fever is an important process and how it can become your friend instead of your foe. when it's treated as your foe or an enemy or something that needs to be fought, there's once again that sense of helplessness comes up. Whereas if you know what to do, how to act, what the purpose of the fever is, and then how to not let it take its course, but let it take its course quickly, it can actually become your friend. We'll talk about that as well in the training and in our ebooks as well. We'll talk about natural treatments that are safe to use with children to treat fever and treat the underlying cause. So we're not just about a Band-Aid treatment so that the child feels better at the moment. We're looking at how do you boost your child's immunity? How do you boost your child's wellness and actually treat the cause, and then hence also build your child's immune system? We'll look at how to reduce the time of fever. And this is incredibly important because if you reduce the period of time that a fever goes for, then a lot of the risk factors of fever are also reduced. And yet you can still maintain the effectiveness of what the fever is there to do in the first place, which is the killing off the pathogens, killing off the germs, killing off getting rid of the toxins out of the body. And of course, that's what we want to do as fast as we can. So we'll give you ways to be able to do that so that even if your child has got the fever, it can be over quickly, effectively, and so they can be on the road to improvement. We'll talk about what you can do to support your child with fever and when you need to see your doctor or practitioner. This is important because whilst we give you information about what you can do, you do need to know your own limitations and when you need to get help. Sometimes you'll get to the doctor and find that you've done all the right things and there's nothing else that can be done, you know, and your child is absolutely perfectly safe. They're just running the course of their disease process. But you need to know when to be able to go and check that in case it is something that does need more attention. And we also help you talk about how to create your home medicine kit that you can have in your pantry so that you have what you need and know what to do when fever hits. This is important because you never know when it could hit. It could happen tonight. It could happen tomorrow night. It could happen in a month's time. But if you've got everything ready and prepared, you know what to do. So all of this and more is so you can be prepared and confident, ready for the next time your child has a fever. Because the key thing is you never know when fever is going to hit. So preparation is the key. So would you like to know more about how you could have this all ready to go in case your child has a fever, in case anyone in your family gets sick or ill and has a fever? Because so many illnesses start with a fever. And by knowing this very simple information, you can shortcut a whole lot of disease processes. You can shortcut a lot of treatment protocols and prevent illnesses going to a much nastier level. So this is what we've done to support you in this, is create a Treat Fever Naturally at Home program. And it's really about treating fever without fear. And in this pack, we've got a video training course on how to treat fever without fear. Now, this is worth $99. It goes through, it's got videos about how you can use a variety of different remedies. It talks about fever, fever as a friend or foe, how to deal with fever, how to know whether your child has got a fever or whether it's other environmental factors. And then it goes through and gives you tips and tricks and protocols and treatments, what to do regardless of what you've got in your kitchen cupboard. So it goes through remedy kits for tissue salts, what remedies you would need in the way of herbs. It's got simple home remedies of things that you've already got in your pantry and how to use them. We'll also look at homeopathic remedies, which homeopathic remedies you could use, and we'll also look at the foods that you do to help someone who's going through a fever and then recovering from a fever, and how you can use food as a medicine as well. So we've got a lot of different ways and a lot of different types of remedies. So there's bound to be something here that you can use and that will work for you and your family. We've also got the ebook, Treat Fever Without Fear, which sells for $39 on its own. We're going to include this in this pack because we know that some people love to watch videos, and sometimes you want to just have your book that you can just go back to and refer to. So we've included that in this as well. We've also got a couple of bonuses for you. We've got an observation checklist so that you know whether or not it's a fever or not. And we've got some top tips for accurate temperature taking. Now, this is actually really important and underestimated how important it is, because there are some very key things that you may not know that could be affecting the accuracy of the readings you're getting of your child's temperature. And if you aren't aware of these things, you could be thinking that you're treating a fever when actually you're not, or you could be fearful that the fever is much higher than it actually is because you don't know these simple. So this is all included as part of your pack. So it's got a total value of $176. Now, while I say a total value of that, I know that the value of this is actually far greater than that, because I know that what it does is actually gives you reassurance. What I've discovered is when I've taught my clients this, something really interesting happens. By knowing the information that you're going to get in this pack, suddenly they feel confident about treating their children. Suddenly they feel empowered in how they can help their children. Suddenly they don't feel a victim to whatever sickness, ailment, illness their child has become exposed to. And they know that there's something they can do. And that is actually priceless. That is way more valuable than the price of anything that I could offer you. It's certainly way more valuable than $176. And it's certainly way more valuable, and it's worth more than you could pay for this. Because this is information that basically I'm going to offer you, because this is an introductory offer, for less than the price of a consult. Many consults these days, even if you got this in a consult, you would think that this was great information. Many consults are $150, $200 these days. So we're going to give this to you for a special introductory offer of just $49. That's just a fraction of the price of going and getting this information at a consult with me, a consult with Molly, and you've got the information ready at your fingertips, ready to go at any point in time, any day, any time of the day or night. So what I suggest you do is click the button below, get your Treat Fever Without Fear pack now, and I look forward to speaking with you on the other side.